5 to 6 months is a long time, but people really do underestimate how long this takes. And so if it does end up taking you 3 or 4 or even 5 LSAT attempts, and maybe you cancel one score, maybe you don't, but either way, if it takes you that many tries, that is normal and it's okay. Retaking is more common than ever because the schools don't average multiple scores. And so there's never really a downside to doing it if you think you could do better. And the funny thing about LSAT scores is that although they're valid, they vary. People always talk about fluctuating scores and they'll say, well, what does this mean? Is this a bad thing? And I say it's actually perfectly normal. There's a margin of error of sorts of 3.5 points on either end, meaning that you could get a 157 one day, a 164 the other day, and the LSAT is still considered a valid exam, as funny as that is. So let's say you took it in June this year and you got a 157. You took it in July and kind of just stayed fresh on the LSAT for another 6 weeks, and then you got a 164. You could apply with a 164, and that's what law schools will consider. And of course, that opens far more doors than a 157 would, and gets you a lot more scholarship money as well than a 157 would. And so even if you got a 160, it'd still be worth retaking. The value of a single LSAT point is something like $4,000, and that's just at the start. If you think about how that scales over the course of your entire career, the ROI on that is huge. Just for taking another 5 or 6 time practice tests once a week over 6 weeks just to stay fresh on it. There's never any easier money you'll make in life than just getting those 2 points more on the LSAT with that minimal investment. So those are some comments on that. If you're studying for the LSAT while you're in college during the semester or during the summer, let's say, you have plenty of time. I would treat it as if it were a 6-credit class in college or like a part-time job, maybe 10, 15, 20 hours a week. And so carve out that time. Maybe you do more on the weekends. Maybe you do more in the evening. Maybe if you're working at an internship or something, you do it before work, during lunch, or after work. You kind of just have to carve out the time wherever you can.